Welcome to the Explainer. Everyone is talking about the AI revolution in business, right? Well, a huge new report just dropped that says, hey, we need a serious reality check. So today, we're going to unpack what's really going on with AI in the enterprise world for 2025. Okay, so on the surface, things look absolutely explosive. Check this out. In just 1 year, the number of AI use cases that are actually in full production has doubled. That's not just a small step up, that's a massive acceleration. It's a clear sign that companies are just racing to get AI into everything they do. But here's the twist. This is the paradox that really drives this whole report. Despite that insane growth, AI is kind of falling short on its biggest promises. The stuff executives really care about, things like boosting revenue, cutting costs. Well, the impact just isn't there yet. It's not living up to the hype. So what is going on here? Right? Why this huge gap between the AI hype we all hear about and the actual business reality? That's the central mystery we're going to try to solve today. We're going to figure out where AI is actually delivering value, where it's all just talk, and most importantly, why. All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand that not all AI is created equal. It's not one big monolith. The tech has actually evolved in 3 pretty distinct eras, and each one comes with different abilities and, this is key, very different risks. So the first era was all about prediction. Think traditional AI, recognizing patterns and nice, neat, structured data, stuff like fraud detection. Then came the second era, the one we're kind of in the middle of right now, which is all about creation. This is your generative AI, drafting new content, writing code. But the future, where things are headed, is all about orchestration. We're talking about AI agents that can actually take action and run entire tasks all on their own. And this table here, this lays out the trade-offs perfectly. As you go from that traditional AI to the new agentic stuff, the potential rewards, they're huge. But, and this is a big but, just look at how the risks shoot up right alongside them. You go from a pretty low risk of error with the old predictable models to a really high risk of, major operational failure with these autonomous agents. It's a whole different ballgame. Okay, so with that background on the 3 eras, let's get to the 2025 report card. Let's see how companies are actually using this stuff right now. Hype versus reality, let's do it. Wow, okay, this chart right here just perfectly shows that gap between the hype and what's really happening. Despite all the buzz around generative AI, just look at these numbers. Almost 60%, 60 of what companies are doing is still stuck back in that first era. Good old-fashioned predictive stuff like classification and optimization. So what this is telling us is that the center of gravity just hasn't shifted as far as you'd think from all the headlines, at least not yet. Businesses are being smart. They're being pragmatic. They're sticking with what they know works, the mature tech where the data is clean and the results are predictable. That big revolutionary leap, it just hasn't happened across the board. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Look where AI is killing it. The overachievers, risk management, compliance, see a pattern? These are highly structured, predictable things. Now, look at the underperformers. Oof, revenue growth, cost savings. It's massively underdelivering. The tech just isn't hitting those big financial goals that are driving all the hype. So that makes you wonder, right? If the technology is supposedly so powerful, why is it falling flat on these really important metrics? Well, the report argues that the real difference between the winners and losers here, it's not actually about the tech. It's about something way more fundamental. And the report is absolutely crystal clear about this. Success isn't some magic trick where you just buy the latest AI model. Nope, it comes from building these 4 foundational pillars. You need trusted data, you need smart governance that doesn't slow you down, you need workflows where AI is a real partner, and you need a workforce that knows how to use it. This is the why behind all those underperforming numbers. Without this stuff, you just can't scale AI to actually make a dent in revenue or costs. You get stuck in, pilot project purgatory forever. Okay, so let's look to the future a bit. As companies start to get these foundations right and AI gets more and more autonomous, it opens up a whole new can of worms, new complicated questions. And one of the most interesting is actually super practical. If an AI agent is doing the work, how in the world do you pay for it? So the report floats this really cool new idea called autonomy level pricing, or ALP for short. And the core concept is pretty simple, actually. You price the work based not just on what was done, but on how much the AI did on its own. It's about tagging each task with a level of autonomy. And that one simple shift could bring a whole lot of needed transparency to the marketplace. Let's make this real with a finance example. Look here, a level 1 task where the AI just suggests a journal entry and a human does the work, that's going to be priced way lower than a level 4 task where the AI is running the entire show. It just makes sense, right? This creates a fair system where providers get rewarded for safely turning up the dial on automation, and the buyers actually see the savings from all that new efficiency.
So, when you boil it all down, the big takeaway from this report is pretty clear. The whole conversation we're having about AI and business, it needs to change. Realizing the full potential of this stuff isn't about running out and buying the shiniest new model. It's about doing the hard work of building that foundational readiness, getting the strategy, the governance, and the people ready to use these amazing tools the right way. So the real question isn't what can AI do anymore? It's, is your organization ready for it?